Hey, man, I've been doing a lot of thinking lately about ways we can make this team stronger. Just from playing against these guys out on the court, I have a few suggestions on players who I think would greatly help our chances of winning. You interested in hearing them?
Yeah, let's hear them. I've really grown to respect your opinion, so some first-hand recommendations would be great. Why don't you go ahead and give me the names of up to 5 players you'd like me to trade for? Okay, sounds good. I'll start reaching out to the various GMs and see if any are interested in making something happen. I just need you to understand that we're going to need to trade some assets to get one of these guys. Hopefully, I can make something happen here.
Hold up, son. Word. Yeah. To all the and $100 billers. For real. Who ain't got no feelings.
We have an interconference affair lined up for you today as the Washington Wizards come in for this one. I'd like to welcome you to the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan. Joining me, Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and courtside. Here is Daniels, who's coming off an unbelievably scoring game.
Ammonia strong finish right there, partner. You hear me? That was ammonia strong.
Yeah, ripped it down with 2 hands.
That's about as high percentage as you can get.
From the Wizards, they're shooting 47% here so far.
Well, it was a good win. Ball movement, offensive spacing, efficiency. They were just really solid at that end of the floor.
And when they got hot, they were impossible to cool down. That was the case throughout the game.
The Kings have gotten 8 of their 13 shots to find the bottom of the bucket.
Well, they own the boards at both ends of the floor in that game. And I thought that was what won it for them more than anything else.
Well, that was the one area they knew they could exploit in the matchup, and boy, did they ever exploit.
Sacramento is the first time they've met this year.
Well, they went 0-2 against them last year, and you know, they feel like they should have done much better. They look for an intense game tonight.
Good!
Boy, nice pick there, guys. I mean, gave him the space he needed for the hoop.
Thomas kicks to Johnson. He feeds it to Daniels. This one for 3. Washington with the rebound. And you're right, Clark, a poor outcome last season. Both of these clubs, suffering similar fates.
Yeah, Kev, the word for the day is not necessarily rebuilding, but they need to be gradually improved.
And I think they are.
I think so, too.
For the 3. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet. Daniels has got 8 points.
Both sides really coming out of the gate firing.
Guys, they look like they were raring to go in this one. A lot of offense early on. Trevor Booker out of Clemson, a powerfully built, well-put-together 6'7" power forward. Obviously a bit undersized, but has tremendous bounce, and he can definitely finish around the goal.
Let's see, 6'7", power forward, very athletic. Reminds me of a young kid out of Ohio State a long time ago.
Yeah, 30 years ago.
From the changes for Sacramento, Francisco Garcia. He's checked in for Salmon. And it's Jimmer Fredette in for Isaiah Thomas.
You know, the dunk was great, but I didn't care for that interior defense there, guys. It was non-existent.
You know, it was way too easy. I don't think the coach liked it either. Look at that face.
It doesn't get much easier than that. They have got to tighten up their defense. That was embarrassing.
Here's Daniels. Shot's good. Daniels has got 10 points in the game. And Trevor Booker, one of the bright spots for a Wizard team, Steve, that's taking its lumps.
Well, he's a guy they can count on to compete and give full maximum effort every time he's on the floor. Just one of those high-energy players that you love if you're a coach.
Wall, that's good.
They have no answer for him. He's just putting on a dominant display of offense.
He kicks to Johnson. Passes to Daniels. Beyond the arc. Rebound by Webster.
They are setting the tone here early with their work on the boards.
Yeah, only a moderate advantage here, a slight one, but as the game wears on, it's one they'll definitely look to build on.
Seraphin dishes to Booker. 6 to shoot. Here's Wall. That one goes. Count. Now it's a 6-point Wizards lead.
Now they've got to offer more resistance inside. Just too many easy buckets in the paint.
Yeah, Steven, that's the top priority for any defense. You got to protect the paint.
6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Dishes it to Daniels. From deep. The shot no good. All with it. 17 points for him last game against Orlando. Rebound by Garcia.
That's the kind of defense required when he's got the ball near the hoop. And they were right in his face.
The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Wizards up.
Be sure to check out the latest issue of Dime Mag.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen from the Wizards, guys.
Yeah, this team played an excellent first quarter offensively, moving the ball and getting a good flow to their offense. That's why you see those big assist totals.
Yeah, very timely passing for them, Steve, and that's why they've been able to jump out to this lead.
So on the floor for Washington, Nene and Okafor together up front. Ball and Crawford work together as the backcourt, and it's Ariza in at the small forward position. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Big Dog, in their last matchup against the Cavaliers, had a huge game. He dropped in a staggering amount of points, and the basket must have looked like an ocean to him as he nailed 3. And numbers like that make you anxious to see what he can do next time out.
Well, thank you, Doris. Clark, what a game he's had.
I loved it. I mean, passion, intensity, focus, right on top of things. These are the games when you know you're feeling it and flowing nicely.
And when you have that, when you know it's there, you've got to attack. And that's exactly what he did. He took advantage of the circumstances and really came through with a phenomenal performance.
And Wall. Here we go now. No good.
Well, if you're a basketball fan, you remember Keith Smart hitting the game-winning jump shot for Indiana Final Four, and went on to have a long career as an assistant coach in the league and now doing a nice job as the main man in Sacramento.
About a minute and a half into the second quarter now. Crawford outside. Crawford gets a screen from Okafor. Fires for 3. Tries again. He lays it in. And the Wizards lead by 2.
He has such a great feel for how a missed shot is going to come off the rim. Really plays those angles well. That's exactly why he consistently beats defenders to the ball.
Shot from 6. That's good. Daniels has got 15 points. And Coach Smart likes to keep in touch with his players off the court using text messaging. Check in with them often.
Well, that's the way you got to do it these days. I mean, you know, you got to take advantage of modern technology and be able to relate to your players, whether it's online social networking or whatever it is. I mean, you've got to be able to connect with your players as a coach on some level, and that's a good way for Coach Smart to do it.
Evans passes to Daniels.
Drop your jaw. He threw down that 360 like it was no problem at all. That's insane skill.
The guys on the bench are just falling all over themselves.
Yeah, they love one of the plays of the year, possibly.
Brooks against Crawford. Great touch on the 16-footer. Crawford's got 7 now in this quarter.
Well, after that strong start to this game, he's really picked it up here in the second. Very sad to see where this Sacramento franchise has gone kind of the last 4 or 5 seasons, guys. Remember the heyday back in the early 2000s when they had Vlade Divac, Mike Bibby, Stojakovic, and they filled up the building every night back then. We'll see if they can ultimately get it rolling again here in Sacramento.
And Beal kicks to Webster. Makes the lead pass. Here's Crawford, and the layup falls. Crawford's got 15.
They got the ball into the ideal position, and he didn't flub the finish that time, guys.
Steve, that old team you were talking about, incredible how they played. In fact, I remember the commissioner, Clark David Stern, said, we would love if the entire league played with that kind of flair and flamboyance and passion that Kings team of that era played with. They were so fun to watch.
They really worked. That one of my favorite teams, the way they played. They came close to knocking off the Lakers in the Western Finals, and they really were one of my favorite teams to watch. It shows, Kevin, that you can have and sustain a winning team in a small market like Sacramento.
You have to get a hand into his face because that's his range right there.
Bobs the alley-oop pass. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. The three. Out of bounds, Sacramento will take possession. And with this quick break, we can show you the list of the most explosive shooting guards in the NBA so far. Take a look at Big Dog, leading the league in points per game. Such a great player.
And it's his explosiveness that jumps right out at you. He exploits gaps in the defense better than any player in the league. If there's an opening, he'll find it.
And the opening doesn't have to be there long, Steve, just a nanosecond. I mean, that's the burst this fella possesses, even a hint of daylight, and he'll be right by you.
Cousins, excellent D there from Okafor. Wizards leading by 4. Now Crawford, and that one's good. Crawford's got 11 here in this quarter alone.
They continue to barrel their way inside, and when's the defense going to adjust?
Well, I'm asking the same question myself, partner. I mean, that's 8 points out of their last 10 coming inside. Up high and down hard. That's
why you use it, brother.
Well, he really makes things happen offensively for this club. And as a defender, when you go against him, you have to get help defensively. So it's important for your defense to really communicate with him out on the floor.
And another thing about him is how outstanding he is as a spot-up shooter. I mean, if he can shake loose of his man off the ball and the pass finds him on target, he's going to knock it down more times than not.
No good from Cousins.
You know, Nene is not considered a great one-on-one defender, but his mobility makes him very helpful as far as team defense is concerned. He can cover pick and rolls, he can rotate, and covers a lot of ground, really.
And Washington again with the bucket.
And defensively, remember, you got to fight through screens to avoid giving up open looks.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Steve. And the defense has to go over the top of that screen. I think that's how they get it done.
And Nene kind of has that soccer athleticism. Not really a big leaper, but his agility and quickness really stand out.
Well, that's a great observation by you, Kevin. Didn't know you were into football a little bit, but you make a good comparison there. And sometimes quickness and agility can more than make up for a lack of sheer jumping ability. And Nene has that along with strength and a good basketball IQ. This game very well could come down to a few possessions, and if that's the case, rebounding could play large.
Yeah, in a close game like this one, securing the ball is so vital.
Here's Beal. The feed now to Webster. Back to Okafor. Cousins is there. Goes back up. Daniels corrals the miss inside. The Kings trail by 5. Here's Salmons. Rebound by Webster. Webster's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Kicks it to Beal. It's Nene, high post. The Wizards working the ball around now. Crawford outside. Puts up a 3. Second chance shot. Okafor gets the bucket. Okafor's got 4 points this quarter. And that concludes the first half. Wizards lead by